All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the District of Brown Deer School Board meeting. Today is Tuesday, April 9th. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. Verification of public notice. The meeting has been publicly noticed. Verification of a quorum. We have 6 of our 7 board members in attendance. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I will make a motion to approve.
Thank you very much, Ms. Robinson. Motion has been made. Do we have a second?
A second.
Thank you very much, Ms. Zick. Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor will raise hand and/or aye. Any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries unanimously 6-0. And then the reading of our vision and mission statement. Our vision is to provide a rigorous education that empowers our students to confidently navigate in our ever-changing world. And our mission, through the lens of excellence, equity, and engagement, we are dedicated to empowering every student with the essential skills to build a foundation for lifelong learning. All right, let's go on next. Our next item is our business office reports. Mr. Clemming.
Good evening, members of the board. My memo, basically what I'm just going to run through tonight. If you have any questions, let me know. First of all, we are just in the final stages of our membership audit. This happens every 4 years where districts are picked randomly. It's a very wonderful day when you find out you're getting audited for membership. We're going through that. We're just finalizing that process. They did say that it's gone very well. There were a couple of issues that we had to make changements. I don't know whether they'll relegate to findings or not, just because, again, they said it went really, really well. So we did have a couple of, as an example, we had a couple of students that were present that weren't actually enrolled in the district at the time, or weren't attending the district at the time. We had to make an adjustment, but that was something that we had identified in the January count. We were going to make a change. So we brought that to the auditor's attention. So as one of the changes, we knew what we were going to end up having to do. And there were a couple other minor things. So we'll get that report from them shortly. They have to file with DPI by beginning of May. So we'll have that shortly. Food service RFP evaluations. This right here has been my homework for the last couple of weeks. So we did receive 5 submissions for our food service RFP. These were the same same vendors that came to the in-person site visits, which was a requirement. We knew that if they came, they could submit. We didn't know if everybody would submit, and they did. So we have proposals from Aramark, which is our incumbent, Chartwells, Quest, SFB, and Taher. And so they're actually coming in. So our committee, we have copies of these wonderful 300+ page presentations with all the wonderful financial and other data. We are reviewing them now, and the vendors will all be in on Thursday to do short presentations to the committee, just to kind of help to answer any questions and to get to know them a little bit better. And then we're going to finalize our decision-making process next week. We do a scoring matrix to explain we have a scoring matrix, which was part of the RFP, as to how we're evaluating these vendors. We'll send all the information to DPI with who our winner would be. DPI approves it, and then I send it to you guys on Tuesday the 23rd for approval. So that'll be starting July 1st.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
On your committee of 5, are there any students?
We didn't have any students because, I mean, we have to evaluate on a bunch of different things, and I don't know that we've ever had students on that committee.
Wondering.
Yeah, there's a lot of reading and a lot of other stuff that's part of that process. So we do, there are sections that involve student engagement and how the companies are preparing to, improve upon that going forward. So that's one of the things that, based on feedback I have had, that's one of the things we really are looking at to make sure that either we're engaging students in conversations about menus or other kind of focus group sorts of things. We're also looking at additional opportunities where the food service program can be embedded in classroom situations. Some vendors have examples of where, if you're doing a history lesson on France or something like that, that they would actually prepare something that would, be some French cuisine that would be included in that classroom. We just did a few weeks right before spring break. We had a community partnership with Aramark to do something for CLC, our afternoon program for the elementary school, where the kids all got to make individual pizzas to take home. And so Michelle and the staff at Aramark let that work. And so it was a family engagement piece where they came in, got to, learn about how to use the ingredients and measure things out and do it. They all get to take their homemade pizza home with them to bake and enjoy. So those kind of things are things that we're looking for. I know Ms. Brown is on the call right now. I'm not going to make her talk, but I know her dream, of course, is a culinary arts program at some point. And so, but there are opportunities that without necessarily having that full blown, that there are opportunities where students are interested in those, in that career path, could have other opportunities working with the chefs and with other staff members through these vendors. So those are parts that we are looking at very seriously at the time.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions about the food service process? Okay. Next, we did something that we've been talking about for a while. We did actually hold our first meeting of our teacher compensation and retention committee last Tuesday during our PL day. I had about 20 staff members who had expressed interest, and then we kind of went through the list, and I was trying to make sure that we had a diverse group of years of service, subject areas being taught, and then I spread it out across the buildings. So we have 12 teachers who agreed to be a part of the group. And like I said, we met for the first time last week. They've been given some homework to think about some things. We're going to meet again in May to have another conversation. And then the big bulk of the information of the work will be kind of gathering ideas from other districts or other things that we can pull and kind of consider looking forward as we think about what compensation in the Brown Deer School District will look like. Another piece of that, which I am stressing with them too, is it's not just the compensation piece, it is retention. So what are there other things that we can do that can help in that retention piece that aren't always necessarily financial or directly compensation? Are there, access to the building? Are there the way the workday goes, things like that? Are there other things that we can do to improve upon that? So we're looking for all sorts of ideas, and that committee's work will continue throughout going into next year with the plan that hopefully towards the end of November, before the end of the calendar year, that we might have some ideas of here are some things that we could look at. It's very likely that those conversations would require additional funding to talk about, or how that would actually look like. It's one of the goals will be to try to get a little closer to the market in our area and try to make sure we are more competitive to some of our neighbors. So it won't necessarily be here's the plan, but it'll be some ideas that we'll be looking at, and then that'll be part of a long-range conversation that the board will have with the community going forward. So we're glad to have that work get started.
Thank you for that. These things are so important for you to get a number of different voices and ideas at the table as we begin to kind of look at what others are doing.
Right.
And to, stay competitive with that will translate into retention.
Right. And obviously, retention is a big piece of the strategic plan. So that's, we now have that charge and that focus to do so. That's what we'll be going for.
I will be looking forward to seeing and hearing your recommendations.
Sounds good. All right. Next, just an informational piece that we are getting ready to enter our benefit open enrollment period with our staff. That begins on May 6th. We run a 2-week period where using a tool called Building Blocks, which is an online platform with live agents to assist in the enrollment process. We'll be going through all of our employees will be required who are, coming back or even those who are leaving us at the end of the school year who have benefits in July and August. They have to go through that process to enroll. This year it's a little bit nicer because we really have very little change happening. We did last year, of course, we had our big health insurance premium that we had to deal with, and then we had to make changes to the plan in order to do that. This year the board approved a 4% increase in health insurance, so that's been well received. And then the only other part is that usually our FSA enrollment doesn't occur at this time. It used to be on a calendar year basis, but as part of this whole plan to try to get everything aligned, last year when we switched to Mid-America from Diversified Benefit Solutions, we ended up going to a 6-month, like a short plan from January until June. So now employees will enroll for a full year, and then all of our benefits, all of our insurance deductible calendars, all the premiums, and then the FSA part will all be aligned on the same calendar. So it'll be convenient for our staff. Any questions related to that? Next, so I did want to say this publicly. I don't know if we have members of the community on board or not, but we, Fun Fair is back. We were talking about that before the meeting. Fun Fair is this Saturday, and it's being held at the middle high school. The Fun Fair organizers have been very energetic in trying to provide a number of different services and fun and activities for the kids. We have run into some issues with liability insurance, and so this has created some things that I have to go look into a little bit. They had hoped to have some inflatables in the field house as well as have access to the rock wall. Both are not going to be happening for Saturday, unfortunately. The inflatables just aren't being covered by any insurance company for any reason. And even talking to the village, they used to have, inflatables at the 4th of July. They don't have that anymore, again, because of liability concerns. The rock wall is a little bit more of a enigma just because it is covered for certain situations. When we have students that go through some training, so when we have our PE classes and kids get, training before they actually use the rock wall, and the village is actually fully insured to do it through their park and rec rock climbing program. But to just have people come in off the street that have no experience, there was a significant amount of pushback on that and covering that. And so I'm going to be working with our carrier. We're obviously also in the renewal process for 24-25. We've had Wright, which is our property and liability insurance carrier for several years. Assuming they end up being our renewal company, I'm going to work with them pretty extensively, start understanding where some of these limitations are, and if we have to do certain endorsements to try to allow for access for these events, or there may be things that we need to do as a district. Maybe there is a little bit of a training video someone's going to watch for 5 minutes on a kiosk before they go, whatever the case would be to appease the insurance, the insurance folks. Because we do want to make sure that the community invested in these spaces, and I don't want to not provide access, especially for these community events. But the world has changed significantly, and litigation is such a significant issue that something happens somewhere, and then every insurance company is afraid to do something. So I'm going to work So I know that the groups involved with organizing the fun fair are disappointed. I know that the kids that may have been looking forward to will be disappointed. But it isn't that we're not trying to do it. We just have to figure out how to do it in a way that doesn't put the district at financial risk. So
is the fun fair now happening at the high school?
This year they were going to do it at the middle high school because it's a combination of the PTC and the middle school parent pack, and they were trying to get it to so that the middle school kids who missed the fun fair for the last 3-4 years got a chance to experience some of it as well. So this year, I think next year it'll be back at the elementary school, but they're trying to do something more inclusive this year with middle school.
So everything is happening in the field house?
At the field house.
We're going to cover the floors up and everything?
They will not be on the basketball court. That will be roped off. The games will be around the area. A lot of the
So on the rubber track piece?
back in. And food and concessions will be available. I don't know the whole layout personally. That's something that Matt's working with them more closely, but food will be served out of the North Commons, and so the Commons will be open for food and beverage purchases, and then they'll have base sale, raffle, and I'm not sure where all that's located, but it'll be in that main area of the field house in the North Commons.
Do we not have the option to have parents sign up a waiver for liability?
You can, but waivers aren't, legally, a good lawyer will find a hole in a waiver and it won't necessarily matter. So I do, that would be part of a plan to protect the district, but I think there may be more that we might have to do. So we're going to work through that. So I'm going to do my best to figure out what a good solution would be for us. I mean, it was going back and forth with them for 3 weeks now, and it got to a point where they were offering, for $4,000, I could buy a policy to help cover it, but it's kind of eating into our, for one day, that's a lot of money. Then they went in a different direction, but then it was limited to how many, who could use it, and it was really convoluted. So I'm going to work with our insurance consultant, both now and through the renewal process to, again, have all that clarified, and then we'll kind of publicly announce it. It'll be clear in our agreements and how we schedule things for the school district going forward. So it's unfortunate, but we will work toward a goal that will make it provide access to those fun things that we have here. Okay, and then for no questions, then finally, I just want to let the board know that over spring break, I did meet with Robert W. Baird, who is our financial advisor, just to start conversations about our budget plan and looking forward, casting forward as to what future years will look like. As we've talked about as a board, we're going to run a deficit budget this year. We're going to have we have a healthy fund balance. We'll have an increase in the fund balance. And we want to make sure that we are, again, in the effort of retention, making sure that our staff we're committed to our staff and making sure they're all aware of how they're going to get paid and everything next year. So we're focusing on that. And so we're going to run a deficit, but that's a short-term solution. And so we will have to have conversations about what does that look like going forward. So in those conversations, and I'm going to meet with them again at the end of April. Once we get our June budget out there, then over the summer, the board will be engaged more with Baird to have deeper conversations as to what, how we want to proceed with this conversation, sharing information with the community, potentially doing a survey, things like that to kind of show the community, here's where the state of funding is, here's what we've been doing with it, here's how we've been financially responsible, but here's the reality of where those costs are going and what isn't happening from the funding sources. And then we can, discuss what the next steps would be, whether we felt like, we know we had the financial or the facility study was done, we had $25 to $30 million worth of potential items that could be addressed or may need to be addressed over the next 10 years. Again, talking about retention and compensation for staff. What does that look like compared to where we're spending money? We are, this is the last year of the ESSER funding, so all that goes away. How do we do that going forward? In light of the state providing some other new additional revenue for school districts. Election day was last week, and a number of school districts passed referendum. Whether that's the direction we have to go, that's a conversation that we'll have. So just again, speaking about it publicly to let people know, and the board and the community can have that conversation, pretty much starting this summer.
All right. Questions for Mr. Clemming? All right. Thank you, Kevin. All right. Let's go on to our item number B, approval of new hires.
We have 3 new teaching hires for the 24-25 school year. We're very quickly trying to fill vacancies. Middle school is doing a great job at that. We have Andrea Urban, who's going to join us as a math teacher. Bryce Matheson, that's real. His name is Matheson, and he's a math teacher. And then Emma Radomski, who is a science teacher. These are all middle school teachers for 24-25.
Go sit down.
All right. All right. So would someone like to make a motion to approve of the new hires for Andrea Urban?
Dr. Beagle, I'd like to make a motion to approve the hiring of Andrea Urban as a middle school math teacher effective August 26, 2024 for the 24-25 school year.
All right. Actually, since they're all starting on the same date and it's in the same thing, we can do all 3. All right.
I would like to make another motion to approve the hiring.
Likely don't make another motion.
So it's just approve the hiring of Bryce.
To approve the hiring of Bryce Matheson as a middle school math teacher effective August 26, 2024 for the 24-25 school year, and the hiring of Emma Radomski as the middle school science teacher effective August 26, 2024 for the 2024-25 school year.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Ashley. Motion has been made. We have a second.
I will second that motion.
All right. Motion is made and second, Ms. Peterson. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor will raise hand and/or aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries unanimously 7-0. So we'd like to go ahead and welcome Andrea, Bryce, and Emma to the Brown Deer School District family in the middle school. All right. Let's go on to our next item, resignations.
We have no resignation.
And that is a good thing. All right. So we can keep on moving. All right. So let's go on to our item D, approval of the district self-insurance for the dental insurance. Let's go ahead.
So these next 2 agenda items are an either or proposition. So in March on the 19th, we discussed the potential of going to self-insurance for dental insurance. Share with you the numbers. Ken Zastor was here from NIS. I didn't get any questions or follow-up from the board. So Basically, we're looking tonight for a decision. For our employees, it'll be transparent. It won't make any difference. It'll be the same Delta Dental PPO plan, the same benefit coverage, the same deductible or don't deductible, the same maximums. Everything else is the same. It's no cost to the employee. That cost is covered by the district. We're not changing which employees are eligible for dental. It's just, everything is exactly the same. The difference will be either A, we contract out with Delta Dental to be our third-party administrator, and they will help us in paying the bills, and we will not pay Delta Dental for any premium charges. And then we would receive any benefit of a loss ratio that, is lower than what would be expected. So that's going to self-insurance and using the Delta plan, and Delta would be our third-party administrator. Or we leave everything exactly the way it is and we go to a fully insured plan where we remain with Delta Dental on a fully insured basis where we're paying them premiums every month based on enrollment. So the administration is recommending going to self-insurance. It is, other districts are going to self-insurance on health. That's a little scary, but this is like a toe in the water sort of thing for us to experience that. And as we've shown historically, the risk is very low because we have a very good loss ratio that we've had. Generally speaking, there'll probably be $30,000 to $35,000 worth of money that we would have sent out in premiums that can remain with the district using that model. So,
All right. And that is for the self-insurance.
self-insurance.
And that is the one that the administration is recommending.
Right, that would be item D if you want to go that, and then you wouldn't do anything for item E.
Item meeting would be out. Okay. Question.
Question, so that I'm understanding, we would still contract with Delta Dental and they will still handle the payment of those premiums. What is the contractual expense or the cost to contract with?
That's the $5 per person per
$5 per
month.
person.
And so that's the administrative fee. And again, so the exact number depends on the number of enrollees.
Certain.
But based on, what was it last year, or based on their numbers, which is on the last page, they're anticipating $10,680 for the administrative fee.
Okay,
The administrative fee is $5 per employee per month. So,
got it.
and then so 10,680 based on the current enrollment. And so what we would do is we would pay them that monthly fee. They would basically say, here's what you owe, here's how much claims you had this month. You just send them money, they disperse it to all the dental offices in the area. And they get their $10,000 and that's their charge to us. We don't send them anything on a monthly basis other than what is actually claimed.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Lisa, you had a question?
I don't have a question. I would just say I will vote for that.
Yeah. Wait. All right. So, would someone like to make a motion to go with item 2D, a motion to approve the self-insured for the dental coverage?
Dr. Vito, yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the move to self-insurance for dental coverage, utilizing Delta Dental for administrative services and accessing the Delta Dental PPO network as presented for the 2024-25 school year.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Peterson. Motion has been made. We have a second.
A second.
Thank you very much, Ms. Zink. Motion has been made and seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor will raise hand and/or aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries unanimously 7-0. So now we're going to a Delta Dental PPO self-insurance. All right.
All right.
Let's go.
That means item E is irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
Yes.
So we will cross it out. All right, let's go to item number 3, engage in innovative staff. Dr. Kelsey Brown?
Yeah, we are at the point now where there's only a couple of resignations in a particular period. So we don't want to share too much information without making it self-identifiable as to who the individuals are. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine this information in the quarter, in the end of the year report. But we had 2 individuals in the last quarter that resigned the district. So, sharing you the pie chart of all that information makes it a little bit more easily identifiable as to who the individuals are. And we're trying not to do that. Or what the individuals report. I guess that's the large view. So we'll share that with you as part of our end of the year thing. But just to let you know that we had only 2 people resign in the last 3 months.
Good problem to have.
Yes, it is.
All right, let's go on to our next item. Approval of advanced placement African American Studies course.
Yes. A proposal that is coming from at the high school and she's online. Ms. Brown? You're muted.
You're muted.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So for the past couple of years, College Board has been researching the creation of this AP African American Studies course. Last year, only certain high schools were able to pilot this course, and for the upcoming 24-25 school year, they are opening up this AP African American Studies course to all schools across the country. And so I took the course to our social studies department and I asked if there was an interest because I thought it would be very
You're a dog.
That's okay. I'm sorry, Shabala, I had to fix the audio, so I think we can hear you better now, hopefully.
okay. I thought I did that. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay.
That was, they got a gratuitous Gertrude Turner shot. Sorry. My bad. I apologize. There we go.
Okay, so I think I was at the point where schools are now able to take the course. I presented this course to our social studies department. We had a social studies teacher that was very interested. He expressed how he had taken courses of this nature in college and he would be very pleased to teach this course at Brown Deer High School. So I am requesting permission to add one more AP course to our course offerings, and the course is AP African American Studies.
Ms. Brown, I got two questions. I guess in light of now that all students are able to go to UW system schools, but now they've gotten rid of everything for DEI and everything else like that, would this be accepted as a credit towards their high school transcripts or whatever for college?
They're gonna be or better,
Hmm?
right? Is that?
Well, no, I'm just saying because, you know, all the Wisconsin schools now, they got rid of,
I know,
all
but
that. So I didn't know.
It's not the classes though.
Well, I'm just wondering, that's the question. That's why I'm wondering, you know, is this one of those things to where they would turn around and say, those AP classes we're not giving you credit for those or whatever and stuff because they may. Now, with this, as UW system and everybody, have they approved this? I mean, not necessarily them approving it, but they will accept the credits from this as a social studies course.
Dr. Beadle, to be honest, I would have to check. I haven't heard that the official AP courses that are being offered from College Board are not being accepted by either UWM or any other university. So if the board does not mind, I would definitely have to check on that and get back to you.
Yeah, I was just because of everything else that's going on with the UW system schools and everything, and some of the other schools, you know, that are state schools or whatever, and some of the things that are happening. I just wanted to make sure that if our students take it, they do get the AP credit for those, and they're able to transfer those for their college credits. That's all. But again, I think it's and looking at it, I think it's great. I just want to make sure that they're doing it and they're going to get the credit for it for college.
I will definitely check on that. If I can give Dr. Brown the update of the information that I find out so she can share it with the board.
Perfect. Anybody else have any other questions for Dr. Brown in relation? Like I said before, great program or whatever. I just want to just make sure that with all of these other changes and stuff that are going on, that, you know, our students that take this, they're able to get those credits and stuff like that towards their degree at that next level.
It's grade level. It's,
Level 12.
I guess I have one question, Ms. Brown.
Okay.
If this is really popular, are there limits? Is there a maximum number that could take this? Or would you be able to cover like any student that wanted to take it? Because I bet this would be pretty popular.
This first year, because it's a new course and so when you take a course through College Board, they have like sample syllabus, they have different activities formed. Because this is their first year of official release to all districts, I don't want to run too many sections. I would rather them kind of work out the kinks. So right now, my goal is to offer one section for the 24-25 school year and then gradually increase as the interest continues to grow.
Thank you.
Is this a year round or is this just a semester?
This is a year-round, every other day course.
Okay, all right. Okay, cool. All right, with that being said, any other questions? I'm sorry, any other questions? All right, would someone like to make a motion?
Dr. Vito, I'll make a motion to approve the Advanced Placement African American Studies course offered through the College Board as presented.
Thank you very much, Ms. Zink. Motion has been made. Do we have a second? All right, thank you very much, Ms. Walker. Motion has been made and seconded. Any other discussion? Ms. Brown, you are going to get back to Dr. Kelsey Brown in relationship to that question, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, thank you. All right, any other questions? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor will raise hand and/or aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries unanimously 7-0. This is gonna be good.
Can we come?
I'm real. I want in too. All right,
Thank you, Shabala.
Thank you.
all right. Let's go on to our item number 4. We're just moving right along. Huh?
Don't.
I could have been at the bar again.
Sure.
All right, so let's go to number 4, engage board and community lead, approval of the new superintendent contract. All right, and do we have, hey, how you doing, Dr. Cotton? All right, so with that being said, would someone like to make a motion to approve the contract for Dr. Catrice Cotton as our next district administrator?
Dr. Vito, I'd like to make a motion to approve the district administrator's employment agreement as presented.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mackey. Motion has been made. We have a second.
I'll second that.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Ashley. Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor will raise hand and/or aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries unanimously. Dr. Cotton,
Hello, everyone.
all right, welcome to the school district of Brown Deer.
Oh, thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you so very much. I am absolutely thrilled to be joining you. I just want to thank the board for your vote of confidence, to follow up with the work that Dr. Brown has so graciously led your district with. So I am just extremely excited. I've received some well wishes from members of the Brown Deer community, and I just look forward to working with everyone. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Cotton. And we look forward to potentially you coming over to the fun fair. I think you said you and Kayla may be coming over to the fun fair.
Yeah, I plan to, Dr. Brown made sure she gave me that information, and I do plan to be there. I do have a morning event, but I plan to be there probably a little after 12:30 or so, and we'll, my daughter and I will stay around and meet and greet everyone, so I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds good. So Kevin, since she'll be the new super, will the insurance cover her for the rock climbing wall?
We may, because she's an employee, we might make a special exception.
All right.
Don't
All
worry,
right, thank
Kevin.
you
I
very
don't think
much.
I'm gonna try that rock climbing wall. Don't worry about it. I'll be good. I'll be good.
All right, got it. Thank you so much for taking time out to be at our school board meeting. Enjoy the rest of your evening, or stay
Thank
on
you
if
so
you
very
like.
much.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Oh, there you go. All right. All right. So now, with that being said, let's go on to our item number 5, motion to go to roll call vote. Go into closed session.
I would like to make a motion and roll call vote to enter into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.851B. The Board of Education may move into closed session for the purpose of A, approval of preliminary notice of teacher non-renewal, and B, motion and roll call vote to return to open session.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much, Ms. Robinson. Motion has been made. Second?
Second.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Bacon. Motion has been made and seconded. Ms. Ashley?
Vito?
Aye.
Daniels Ashley? Aye. Aye. Robinson? Aye. Walker? Aye. Danzig? Aye. And the ayes have it 7-0 to go into closed session at 6:35 p.m.